Hey guys, so yeah, I'm live, I think. Yeah. So anyway, and I want to talk about just a couple of things that I felt inspired to talk about today. Um, so today I actually came back after a day at the Test Automation and Digital QA Summit, which by the way was amazing. So it really improved from the summit that I attended 2 years ago. And you can see that the technology trends, where the market is going, in a way, I feel really confident, and it's an affirmation for me because I felt that I was on point about some of the technology trends that was happening. So so yeah, it was a fruitful session. It was exhausting, tiring, but because I'm so passionate, so usually when I do a talk, I would pour myself into it. And when you pour yourself wholeheartedly into something, it's natural that you would tend to feel a little bit tired and exhausted after that. But then again, the sense of fulfillment, and because you enjoy it so much, you won't mind feeling exhausted after doing a talk, right? To talk about a subject that you're passionate about. So anyway, today I want to talk about three things. I sort of put it up in the description. I think this is the very first time I actually put in the effort to type out um, the description before I do a live stream. So I think that it was a pretty good description, but I think there can be room for improvement as well. So I want to talk about the very first thing that I sort of felt inspired today. And I'm going to be really open about it, right? So last year, I took on a freelance project, a mobile app development project. Now, being a technical guy and being somebody that's been in the industry for years and years and years, um, I will be very honest that I don't have a perfect track record, right? I have mistakes, I have failures, I have failed probably more times than I've actually succeeded. But then again, I guess it brings a unique perspective because the fact that I have failed many times before allow me to sort of understand that it's the failures that um, give you the opportunity to learn something, and then as a result, you can actually be much better after that. But then at the same time, I haven't had enough successes. I feel. Um, but things are getting better, at least for me. I feel that right now things are improving. But yeah, so basically, there were times where I succeeded and there were times that I failed, right? So, but the most important thing is that when you fail, when you fall down 7 times, you have to get up 8 times, right? The eighth time you have to get up. You can't just give up and quit. Because if you give up and quit, then what's the point of going through all 7 times of failing, right? So, I sort of, how would I say, I have been accustomed to failing. It doesn't sound really right, but I guess in a way, I've built persistence, perseverance. I built a much stronger mentality. I know that I won't give up easily when I meet challenges. So, honestly, that is, I think, a strength for me, right? So anyway, back to the project. So what happened was, in technology, I would say that if you are a technical guy and you're watching this video live or not, whether you're joining later or you're watching as a rebroadcast, you and I can agree on one thing. We are very familiar with Murphy's law. Now, this is what I want to say. I'll make it very absolutely clear. Murphy's Law is not something that we should use as an excuse when things go wrong. But then we also cannot avoid the fact that it's a reality, and sometimes it can happen when you least expect it. And the thing is this, I have had projects that went on really smoothly, that completed ahead of schedule, without much hiccups. And those were amazing experiences. Those were really the memorable ones. But then again, there are also a lot of projects that I've encountered whereby there were things that will go wrong, some more than others. And it's because of projects where a lot of things go wrong, it's easy to feel discouraged. It's easy to sort of question yourself if you are doing things right. If you are not experienced as me, or if you are not very experienced enough in the field of what you're doing, it's very easy for you to feel discouraged, right? So I was there, I've been there, I know what it's like. And I guess, in a way, for me, that project hasn't been really smooth, right? So hiccups happen, shit happen, and I guess it was just a really, really bad series of hiccups. And in a way, I guess it also affected the perception that my client had about me. And I totally understand, right? So if I'm in his position, right, and all these things were to happen, honestly, my faith would be shaken. That's for sure. But at the same time, I guess, I can't really do anything to change what has happened. There's nothing I can say or do now that will undo all of that. So whatever has happened has happened. I guess right now, the only thing I can do now in this present moment is to focus on doing the very best that I can. Is to focus on the things that I can control. Now there are going to be things I can't control and things that are out of my control, right? So one thing that I would do uh, as a consultant, and it's also part of my consulting manifesto, I don't want to just say no to the client, right? It's kind of irresponsible if you just say no to the client and leave them to sort of die and accept it and take it, leave it or take it, that kind of thing. And that is bad. So never do that. So what I'm trying to do is that I would explore all the facts. I would present all the facts to the client, and then I would say, hey, there's things A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are things I can do, and if I can do something about it, you can be damn sure I will make sure that it's done. All right. And then I'm also going to talk about some things, maybe HIJK, for example, are some of the issues that are not within my control. So if it's not within my control, what do I do, right? So one thing is that I would provide alternatives, and then I would say, if this is part of regulation, like I will say very simply, if you are familiar with working with iOS applications, if you are a mobile app developer in any capacity, you would be quite familiar with the fact that iOS requires Apple requires that iOS developers register uh, test devices, test users, the UDID, right? So without the UDID registered in the list for the provisioning, they would not be able to install or download the app to test. So this is nothing secretive. It's industry wide. All mobile app developers will know this or should know this, right? So if you are building an iOS app, you will need to register a device. Now, the only case where logically you can distribute an app and not require the UDID to be registered on the distribution platform is only if you are compiling it for the App Store distribution. The App Store distribution provisioning is for you to upload the app from Xcode all the way straight up to App Store itself. Say maybe you want to do for test flight. That is possible. So apart from that, that's it. So anyway, sorry I sidetracked. just to go back on what has happened and you know the bad impression that might have resulted because of the hiccups along the way for the project. Um, I guess in a way, I was speaking to my former business partner and friend, and something she said that sort of inspired me to want to talk about this. I guess the point is this: I did tell her as well. I said, you know, I cannot change the past. Yes, I acknowledge and I understand that. True, my client has a tainted impression about me because of all the hiccups that has happened. Um, Maybe I could have managed the situation better. I'm sure there are things that I could have done better, right? But there are also a lot of things that I couldn't control. So, in a way, I did feel that I did do my best, but maybe regardless of whatever the case, the situation didn't play in my favor. So, with that in mind, you know, I said that, hey, I understand I can't do anything about the past. But what I can do is to focus on right now. And that is the thing that I want to talk about, this very first topic in today's video blog. Whether you have something bad happen to you before, or maybe it's a mistake that you made, or maybe it's a failure, or maybe it's just something bad that happened to you that sort of still haunts you today, or maybe it's a ailment in your health, right, your body, something that affected you traumatically or in a way that is negative, and it sort of follows you around like a shadow. And you know, if there's one thing I can tell you is this: don't let your past mistakes or your past failures or your past disappointments dictate how you want to live today. Whatever actions you want to do today and right now, you are in control of that. Now, the only power that your past has on you is the power that you gave to it. Now, if you choose not to let it control you, then it has no power to control you, right? So um, that's the point that I want to deliver and share with you today. Don't let your past mistakes hold you back from the future. Um, Things that already happened, they already happened. Nothing you say, nothing you try to do today is going to undo that. So don't dwell on it, all right? Move forward. Focus on now. What's next? What's the next step that you can take? What are the next steps that you can take? Focus on that, and then focus on doing it really, really well, right? So that's the first very important thing I want to talk about today. Okay, so the next part I want to talk about today is actually online lab series. When I was at the summit today, the seminar, I met with a couple of thought leaders, and we were just talking about what I'm doing, you know, currently, you know, my present job, what am I really working on, and so on. And I was sharing about online lab series. So I thought, you know, I would include a section in tonight's video to just give a brief description about what online lab series is. Now, if I really want to talk about what online lab series is, I can spend the next 2 hours talking about it, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to try and give you a condensed version as well as an up-to-date about where online lab series is right now. So about over 3 months ago, I had this inspiration of wanting to start a free non-profit online education and skills training learning platform and community. So it was basically inspired by the fact that I was struggling financially. I wanted to go pick up a course somewhere, but then I don't have the money to pay for it. Then I sort of thought about those people around the world that cannot afford it as well. And you know, how good would it be if they also have access to better education and skills training options? So that's how online lab series started. So when online lab series started, it didn't immediately became clear to me, but later on I decided that I wanted to make online lab series a pay it forward sort of movement. It's all about people helping each other and just continue helping each other, right? And you help one person, and that one person helps another person, and then you keep doing that, and you keep doing that, and it snowballs. So that is what I really want to do. Now, let's be real. In this world, people are realistic. I actually shared this on my LinkedIn as well. Last night, I actually posted something, and I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you that post that I created last night. Okay, so let's go to my profile. So I kind of posted that when I was about to sleep last night, and then somehow I couldn't sleep. So I felt that I needed to kind of share it publicly. Okay, so here's what I want to talk about. Right, so I said, I posted, I said to some of the companies that I have approached before, and have said no, they have said no to supporting OLS, which is online lab series for short, because they can't see any ROI. ROI is return on investment, return of investment, if you're not sure, right? From supporting online lab series. So basically, these companies are the ones that have said, "Hey, Sherman, what you're doing is great, but I don't think we can support you. I think it's a little bit risky, and what can we get from it?" Right. So here's my response. I said, "True, there's potentially no monetary, which is money, ROIs ever. But here's what the future might look like if people were to support online lab series, and online lab series is able to carry out its mission and goals, and to help others and to touch the life of others. Now imagine this: online lab series is able to help a child living somewhere in Europe or any part where in the world who doesn't have money to go to school, but one day grows up to become an engineer that invents flying cars. It might seem like crazy idea, right? Why are we talking about flying cars? But then again, think back. 20 years ago, we would have thought self-driving cars was impossible. Then along came Elon Musk, right? He invented self-driving cars, which is so amazing. So another thing I want to talk about is the point number two. Let's paint a picture again, right? Online lab series, in a way, is able to inspire a kid anywhere in the world in science, chemistry, whatever fields. And maybe this kid, when he grows up, he becomes a doctor, a researcher, and he invents a cure to a incurable disease that can save thousands of lives. Now, this might not seem like ROI is not the money kind of ROI, and it's not an immediate result kind of ROI either. But if you want to paint a picture of all the good that online lab series potentially can do, I'm sure we can paint a lot of possible stories as well. Now, let's say you know that these stories I just shared, right? In my post, these two stories I shared, if they are a fact, kind of like the guy who's digging the gold. If you've seen some of the memes and the motivational images, the two guys that are digging underground towards the diamonds and the gold, right? One guy gave up halfway, and one guy is still going, right? So the guy that gave up is so close to reaching the goal, right? And I think the important thing here is this: if you know that this is going to happen, would it affect your decision to support online lab series today? If you realize that, hey, actually my decision today to support online lab series, or maybe to make a donation or contribution to online lab series today, whether is it $1, $10, $100, or maybe you want to sponsor a video camera, you want to sponsor a mic stand, you want to sponsor the custom workstation that I honestly need. All these things, whatever you can give, if you can give, and you know that what you're giving today is going to help these children, would you do it? let's assume that it's a fact that this is going to happen, and you know it's a fact that it's going to happen. Um, would you do it? Now, the only reason a lot of people hesitate and don't want to do it is because they feel like there's no guarantee. Yeah, of course, all these are just potential, right? It's just a potential possibility. I can't promise that it will happen, but then again, if we don't do it, then for sure it will never ever happen, right? It will never happen. So I think that's the most important thing that I want to talk about for online lab series. All right, and also, if you want to make contributions, I posted things on my social media feeds that actually talk about some of the things that we need. Um, so let me bring it back to. So I was able to speak to the guy at what was that? Overclockers UK. They are custom PC and workstation maker. So I was talking to them recently and talking about the idea of them sponsoring. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I have a phone call. Let me just mute myself for a little while. How do I mute? Damn. Give me a 1 second, guys. Hello. Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Sometimes my mom's boss comes to pick up stuff, so I'm on duty tonight to help bring down those stuff. So anyway, back to the subject. I'm sorry for interruption, by the way. So I've reached out to Overclockers PC and I was basically talking to them about the Orion X or the Orion 8, right? And then they were suggesting one of the guys, the account guy, so he was talking about some suggestions and what can be done. And then I was very honest. I was very honest with him about the nature of online lab series, and I was very honest that we are paying it forward. I don't make a profit from this. And same thing, like on LinkedIn, if we go up to one of the posts I posted yesterday, um, I said something as well. So I want to bring it up. Okay, so this is one thing that is really important. And when I founded Online Lab Series and made it a foundational philosophy that everything we do will be centered on paying it forward. I mean it, and I'm serious about it. I'm not naive though. I know that there are so many people in the world who's always trying to look for a way to gain something. They think about what's in it for me? What do I stand to gain? But let's be honest, let's be real. Would you dare to ask a poor family who does not have the money to pay for their child's education what they can pay you or give you in return? Hmm. Online Lab series is about helping people, not making a profit off their suffering. OLS is about trying to make the world a better place. So ask yourself this question. It's not what the world can do for you. Instead, ask yourself what you can do to make the world a better place than when you first found it. Help me to make a real change in the world, right? There are more important things in this world than just your ROI. Okay, so let me stop the screen share. Okay, so basically that's part two. All right, so part two, I've already talked about online lab series. I've talked about how it's non-profit. I don't earn anything from it, and in this early stage, it's a lot depending on the donations that people provide. And so far, there has been some donations, not a lot. And honestly, it's already ran out. So we do need more donations, honestly, if we want to keep the online lab series going and to be able to help impact the lives of millions of children around the world as well as adults that are facing unemployment. And this is something really important, right? So To also link up to the next point I want to talk about, because online lab series doesn't earn anything, and also the fact that over the last 3 months, the platform has experienced an exploding growth. Um, Online Lab Series has now 14 brand partners, plus 10 more partners that are currently onboarding. Now, when I say onboarding, it means that they are still being confirmed. We're still ironing out certain details, and we have not yet received the official product samples. I haven't started planning a lab series for them. So that's what I mean by onboarding. All right, so they are not officially having a dedicated lab series yet. So I have 14 brand partners now. I've established 14 brand partners, 10 more that are onboarding. And also thanks to the partnership with Design Spark by RS Components. It's basically a predominantly makers community. They have been around for 6 years plus, 7 years, and they have over 657,000 members worldwide. So being able to share the community with them is a huge blessing. We are very, very fortunate because this allowed the members to sort of move back and forth between both platforms and communities. So technically, in a way, online lab series will get to share the membership, right? So um, I want to also take this moment to give a shout out to the guys at Design Spark and say thank you very much, especially to the VP of Design Spark. Thank you for the opportunity and making it possible, right, for the partnership to work. So that really means a lot. All right, so what does that mean for online lab series now? Well, it means one thing. We have the demand. The demand has grown to the point where, initially when I started online lab series, I thought that it would take maybe 2 to 3 months to get the first to get the first brand partner. But then what I did not expect was 6 weeks into founding online lab series, it started to expand and grow, and everything just exploded in a good way. And right now, with all the brand partners on board, it has reached a point whereby the demand has grown from the community, and the demand has also grown from the partnership side. And for me, that means that online lab series potentially will take up half a day or even more than half a day of my time on a daily basis, average. And with that in mind, on that note, I would not be able to commit myself to a full-time job anymore. I was prepared to get a full-time job, by the way. So, but yeah, with everything that's going on, full-time job is just out of question now. So the only option that I'm left with now is to do freelancing or consulting gigs. Right. So this leads me to the third point I want to talk about: consulting gigs. Right. So when you talk about consulting gigs, now normally, even for myself, I used to be limited in my thinking that consulting gigs means I have to do a full-fledged work, like a project, like end to end, right, to work on something for a client. But today, after talking to some of the top leaders at the seminar, it sort of inspired me to think more about, hey, I can actually do much more than just full-fledged work. There are a lot of cases where there are people looking for help. There are companies looking for help. They are looking for individuals or groups that can just perhaps come into the picture and help them with solving a particular problem. It's like they might have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but they got a team that is able to handle most of those issues. Maybe they need someone to just come in and help with A, or come in to help with B. And that is sort of like the consulting. It's a smaller scale. Type of consulting is not a full-fledged project, but it's just to basically help them with a particular portion of the project that their in-house team might not be capable of handling, and they need someone urgently. They need someone fast. So that is one area of consulting that I can do. And honestly, it would cost as much as engaging me for a full project, right? Now, if I do a full project, say a website, just a gauge, a benchmark, if I do a website, back end, front end design, UI design, UX development, everything involved, it would usually take me 3 months, 2 to 3 months. And then if you buffer sometime, maybe 4 months. And for that, it usually would cost about 12,000 to 15,000 based on my consulting rates for a full project, like all in one, like I do everything. Um, but yeah, not everybody is looking for that, right? So there are a lot of people that don't need a full-fledged developer sometimes. What they need is someone to just work on a particular module, right? And I can do that as well, and it's probably only going to cost a portion of the whole project. Maybe for out of the 15,000 I would normally charge, if it's just to work on a particular module, it might only be $1,000. It might be $2,000, 1,005. I mean, it really depends on the scope. But then, yeah, you won't have to pay as much. Now, another area of consulting gig that I'm interested to provide is what I like to call the coffee and meal kind of consulting. It's like I will sit down with you for an hour or two, and then you would ask me questions. You would present me with some of the problems that you're facing. And there are two ways it can go. One way is that I answer your questions for an hour, set it down, and for that 1 hour, I will charge you a certain rate, right? A certain fixed rate. Now, with my skill sets and honestly, the market demand and everything, honestly, I can actually charge more. But I think if I really want to maximize the potential, maybe I can lower the rates, the hourly rates, but I can maximize my time by having more consultations. And I think that would be a lot better as well. I mean, let me know what you feel. Let me know what you think. So the other way of doing the consulting, again, is like meeting up for an hour, plus maybe there is a bit of homework I need to do. You want me to go back home and look through some specs, and you want me to look through the code to understand a little bit about it before working on it. And it's sort of kind of like a few days of assignment, a few days of work, maybe 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, that sort of thing. And yeah, it's just for 3 days. And I guess in a way, that can also be negotiated, right? So I think the most important point here is that this consulting gigs would be highly customizable, and there's a lot of room for flexibility in terms of how much I want to charge and how much I'm willing to pay, and then we can work it out, right? Because I believe that what's important is that if you want my consulting services, you have to be sincere in wanting it. If I want to give you consulting service, I have to give you value as well for it. And it goes both ways. So I think that is something that is really important. So yeah, this video is going to be there. It's going to be on my social media feeds everywhere. And the point is that if you see this, if you watch this, and you know someone who's looking for help, or if you know somebody that, or if it's you that actually needs help, you can actually help me out, spread the word, share this video with someone else, like the video, tag somebody else in a comment, and it sort of help me out because, like I say, Online Lab Series is 100% non-profit, and it's really my passion. I chose this journey, and I know I will have to live with the consequences, the outcome of my decision, and I'm fine with it, but I do not want to accept that, just because I chose to follow my passion, and I want to do freelancing, I can only do full-fledged projects. I don't think that's the point. I think that in terms of consulting, there are a lot of things I can do. I know that there are other things that people consider, and I have friends that recommended, like, why don't you go stand at a roadshow for 10 hours a day for 3 days over the weekend? The thing is this, I think nothing against the job opportunity. I think that's fine. But if I have the option to do something with my time, I would like to make my time more purposeful. And in a way, I am helping someone, and I'm adding value to somebody on team or project. In a way, I also get something from it. So everybody wins, all right, from the arrangement. And I think that is something that is more fulfilling. It won't pay as much, obviously, as a full-fledged project, but it'll be good. I mean, think about it. My rates, if reasonably, is actually about 150 an hour. Um, that's my consulting rate. Can be negotiated, but 150 an hour is that's the thing. Okay, I'm just going to mute myself for a little while. I'm going to be right back. Yeah, sorry. I had to leave for a little while. To bring something down to my mom's boss, lady boss. Right. So, yeah. So basically, I talk about three things today. I talk about one, don't let your past dictate what you can do now. Take control of what you have now and do the best that you can. The past is over. Your mistakes, your failures in the past, the bad experiences, the negative experiences, the unlucky streak or whatever it is. Um, don't let it control your situation now. Do the best that you can. All right, so one. Number two, online lab series, we have exploded in growth. We have 14 brand partners. We have 10 more onboarding. Um, with the partnership with Design Spark, it brings our total membership strength to over 657,000 members. Technically, the memberships belong to them. All right, so I have to say that in respect to that community, but also because of partnership, their members would have opportunity to come over and join us. So that is something that I'm very appreciative for. All right, so that's number two. And because of the exploding growth, the demand for learning content, and it's a good problem, right? Even when I'm speaking to a friend today, Brindley, who's also one of the top leaders at the seminar, um, he sort of, I guess he acknowledged, he didn't agree, and I can't remember if he agreed with me, but he sort of acknowledged that it's probably a good problem to have exploding growth. You have a huge demand, but not not the supply, right? So, which is why we are looking for help. I'm looking for help. I'm looking for sponsors. I'm looking for donations, people that will help the online community. And I guess the point is that Online Lab Series is starting out as a online community, an online learning platform. It's not a business. It does not have a business model. So in a way, it also presents as a potential challenge when it comes to seeking out donations from people. But I like to believe that maybe I'm being idealistic, right? But I'm not naive. I know that there are a lot of people that still think in their minds, what can I gain from it? But my point is that I believe that this movement, this pay it forward movement, will sort of inspire people to do the same, all right? And people that are willing to give, um, not because what the world can give back to them, not what they can gain from it, but it's about what they can give to make the world better, right? So on that note, I then talk about my consulting gigs, the need for consulting gigs. To be very honest, right now I'm broke, literally broke. The thing is that being a Singaporean and being Asian, it's a fact. We all know that when you try to pursue your passion as a Singaporean, it's something that it's they say it won't feed your stomach, right? Um, and that's the real challenge, right? Pursuing your passion, going after your passion, and the fact that the quote that I saw today, one of the quotes that I shared on social media, it says that you need to enlarge your dreams, and not shrink your dreams to your current situation, but to sort of enlarge your courage and your means, your determination, so that your determination and your courage is the size towards the size of the dream. And I guess in a way, my dream, which is online lab series, has already started to see some results. It's off to a successful start, but yet I feel like my financial situation hasn't quite caught up yet. I guess it's a moment of, it's just a matter of time. It takes time, right, for things to sort of catch up. And in the meantime, I'm looking for consulting gigs because I need to support myself financially. By the grace of God, today I had enough money to take a to and fro trip to the seminar. That is all I have on me, honestly. Everything else that I have, right? Every other possession that I have right now, anything that is recent, is honestly a blessing from people. And people have paid it forward and sort of sponsored me with that, and it's actually something that I feel really grateful for. And I guess in a way, I believe that there are people out there in this world that are willing to give, right? Sure, there are people that have to think about what is there for them to gain, right? But I also believe there are people out there. So the only thing I have to do is ask, right? The only thing I have to do is just make my request known, and then we'll see who responds to it. So yeah, basically I'm talking about consulting gigs earlier tonight. Basically, I can do, it's kind of like the hourly consulting gig. I can do like a short assignment, so you don't have engaged my services for full project, because for full project, on a freelancing professional basis, I can still charge about 12,000 to 15,000 for one full-fledged project over say a course of 3 months with buffer 4 months. But then again, some companies, or some people, they don't really need uh, someone to take on the whole project. They just need somebody to be able to handle a portion of it. So, like I was saying earlier in the session, this consulting options that I just mentioned, they are all negotiable. We can negotiate as long as reasonable. I'm not asking you to uh, pay me everything that you have, but I guess in a way, what matters is your sincerity, your how genuine you are. And I guess in a way, I don't want to do it for free or undercharge, so that there is also a sense of value in what I'm trying to share with you in the consultation. And that way we all gain something. You and I will gain something from it. Right. So yeah, with that, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Um, I meant for this to be a live video. I thought of doing it on Facebook initially, but Facebook, you do it Facebook Live. It's a bit hard to share it on LinkedIn, and Facebook is sort of like a personal space. So there are things that I will talk about in this video that are related to online lab series, and some things are professional. So I don't want to meddle too much. So I thought that using my personal YouTube channel would be suitable in this setting. All right. So yeah, I I basically come to the end of this session. I did notice that there's somebody that just joined live video. I'm sorry, I didn't plan this session tonight. I just decided earlier this evening that I wanted to do this video blog. So anyway, I'm going to end it. You can actually, whoever is watching, you can actually just go and rewatch the video at the beginning and listen to some of the things that I've been sharing. All right, so let me know what you feel. Leave your comments in the section below. Tag your friends. Share this video with people that you think would love to support online lab series, or would love to help me in terms of getting consulting gigs, so that I can survive and I can continue to pursue online lab series and bring better education and free education and skills training for millions of people around the world. All right. So thank you very much. I hope that you got something from this video. And if there's something that I've said that offended you, that wasn't my intention, but I just wanted to be genuine. I wanted to be true. And that's really all that I wanted to do. All right. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a long day. I'm going to go rest, and tomorrow is a fresh start again. All right. Bye.